This is my next monthly update video. There's been a few things that's happened, things I like and things I don't like since my last update video. Start with the things I like. If you're wondering about the physical changes since my surgery, because what happened was before surgery, all my physical changes from HRT got to a certain point. Then, after that point, it was just where my hormones were and everything. It was just hard to get my body to finish and continuing to get the rest of the changes my body is supposed to have. But then after surgery, up to now, my body's with my hormones adjusted correctly. My body has actually gone through the rest of those changes that it was supposed to have, even though changes aren't complete and still happening. The changes were that I've noticed. I've lost some more leg hair. Not a significant amount, but enough to where I personally won't notice. So, yeah. And the hair has become finer and thinner. So, yeah. I don't know how much more I'm going to lose and if it's going to become finer and thinner. Instead of like the hair being thicker, it's a lot thinner. Judging by genetics, especially on my mom's side, I possibly could lose almost all of my leg hair. So, yeah. The other thing is I've noticed my butt's bigger and my breasts are obviously bigger. It's like these. You can see they're bigger. So what's happened was before surgery, it got to a certain point, then my breasts wouldn't fill in those spots where they filled in recently. What happened was it's the outer sides here and the upper part here that was lacking, especially the sides here. The tissue just would not finish growing and filling in. But I've noticed through here it has filled in a lot on the sides and some up here, but not to the point where I want up here how much, just to make it easier for the bras to fit in my size. And the weird thing is, before surgery, they measured 39 inches and I fit in a 32 DDD/F American sizing. And since surgery up to now, I measured the same, but because the fullness, I measure a G, like 32G American sizing. So, yeah. Which is kind of frustrating, trying to find bras in my size, because anything above a DDD/F American sizing is either really expensive or hard to find in the style that fits my body size and shape. So, yeah. And pretty much my face looks like. Not much changes there. And the hormones are helping with down there, the changes and healing and developing. My labia majora has been filling in. This last month I've noticed it's been filling in the left side more so than the right side, which is really good. It just makes me feel even better than before. So yeah, I just hoping it continues to fill in. It's not fully filled in yet to where it's supposed to be, but it's getting there. And I'm still leaning towards having that revision on my labia minora to lift it back up, because with the healing that's happened after surgery, it was lifted up like this. But then what happened was the healing kind of like when it wrinkled, like instead of being lifted up like this, it wrinkled down like that for some reason. So instead of being lifted, it's wrinkled down. And the revision would be to fix that, to lift it back up where it should be. And just the way my vulva is, I'm really happy with it. And with the asymmetry of the labia minora, how the right side's longer than the left side, I'm happy with that. And I'm okay with it. I'm used to it now. So I really don't want, it's like I'm okay where it's at, and I don't really want to change it because how used to it I am, having that asymmetry. And there are cis women who are like that. So yeah, but it's lifting it back up. I'm highly leaning towards having it done so in the future I don't get dysphoria from it being flattened and wrinkled down like it is. So with that comes the other part, because that goes hand in hand with this other part. I've been having issues the last month or so. It started in January. It's the end of February. I started having drainage. That was yellow in color. Then what happened was it went from a light yellow to like a dark yellow drainage. Then I started having bleeding in the morning when dilating. But when I dilate in the evening, I wouldn't bleed. And that was getting worse. And then recently it just started getting better. I haven't had the bleeding this morning. Thankful for that. But I'm still having drainage, but not as much. Just for some reason, for about a little over a month, it was getting worse with that and started getting better. Also having itching, stinging, and burning. I think a lot of it's coming from because my labia majora has been filling in, so I think that's part of it. I'm having the itching, stinging, and burning. And I know my mons pubis, the fat right there, I've gained some fat, where I notice it because it's my body, but if someone who didn't know me personally that I had surgery couldn't tell the difference. So yeah. And I noticed the right side, because the left side's, the skin right there is tighter than the right side. So it looks like the right side has a little bit more filled in than the left side, because that tightness that I've been having since surgery. So yeah, it's getting better. And with all this, part of the issue of the stinging and burning and itching, I know part of it is I still have that scar tissue at the vaginal entrance next to the perineum. Some days it feels like it's worse than others, how much there is. Massaging and getting to spread out has caused some stinging and burning. So yeah. And like electrical shocks, I can say, where it felt like, if you think about lightning, when it strikes and it spreads, like how it spreads, kind of what it felt like on the right side of my vulva. It sucked, but it is what it is. And with all this, my original appointment with the surgeon for my 6-month appointment, he wanted to talk about revision surgery. He wanted to further talk about that with me. That appointment got canceled because he wasn't in office. So they scheduled me with the other person that's with plastic surgery. But then she was out of office, so that was canceled for the next. Then the appointment was set the next week, which was last week. And because I was able to get an appointment with the surgeon for Wednesday, how close the other appointment was, they just had it canceled, because if I need a revision or anything done, then I'd be able to get better and further treatment from the surgeon instead. So yeah, 3 weeks haven't been able to get in to see it, to get this checked out, to find out what's going on. So yeah, and also with all the stinging and burning and all that up in the spot, the best way I can describe it is being kicked or too much pressure on the testicles. Then you get that pain radiating in the upper part where the testes were before puberty, the upper part. Yeah, it felt like I was kicked in the testicles. And it was like that for on and off for like a week or so, which sucked. No one should go through that and have that kind of pain. I don't care if you're cisgender or trans, or if it's someone you don't like. No one should have to feel that. It sucks. And the other part that's been getting to me, a few days ago, I woke up having really bad cramps and bloating, feeling like I've been kicked in the right testicle, and with the cramps and everything, for some reason, and all that pain and whatnot, it triggered my dysphoria of not being able to become pregnant and bear my own child. It really triggered that dysphoria, which the way my hormone cycle has, just seems like the cramps and bloating and all that, the days have switched. So it's kind of frustrating with that, how it's switched a little bit again. And how it's just triggering that dysphoria with not being able to become pregnant. So, yeah, it sucks. I don't wish this feeling on anyone. Doesn't matter if you're cisgender or trans. No one needs to feel this pain of not being able to have their own child that way. Become pregnant and bear a child inside of you, not being able to. That's like, I've been struggling with that since 2012. And I've dealt with it in therapy before, but for some reason it really triggered it badly. And for some reason having these cramps is just triggering that dysphoria for some reason this month. And I don't know why. It sucks. So, and even just thinking about it's kind of getting to me a little bit. And I just don't want to have to feel this pain. But on the plus side, I've been doing a little bit of, well, it was here on YouTube. Oh, I can't remember her name, but I stumbled across her YouTube channel when I was doing some research on spontaneous orgasms when I was having them. Haven't had them in a long time, so yeah. In a while. But when I found her YouTube channel, it was on like orgasms and the practice of Tantra, I think that's how it's pronounced. And all that. So I checked out her website and ended up signing up for a mailing list and got a few free things. And what I've been doing, I read one of the books I got for free, and some of the other videos, and it was, all I can say, it's helping with, because it was getting me to think about like self-love and trauma and all that from like the past and currently like now what's going on with me, how that all plays with having surgery and having that self-love and healing from all that in the past. And when I did that little workshop, it was about 45 minutes long. It was about, it's like on the Tantra side of self-love with your genitalia, the vulva, and pretty much like healing and being okay with it, and especially like sexually, mentally, and spiritually, and just being connected and having that self-love for your body. And it just triggered feelings and released a bunch of feelings I didn't even know was there. And to where I ended up crying. And it just gave me that more of a connection to my body and how it is right now, how it looks, how it feels, and it just made my mind, that mind-body connection even stronger, especially like on the spiritual level. I ended up crying, and with that release, in a good way, it triggered 2 orgasms that I never had triggered in a way like on the spiritual level kind of a way, which it just gave a much deeper connection with my body, and just a lot happier doing these kinds of things and working on these kinds of self-love and care for my body. So yeah, that self-care, the help with me and what I'm going through. So yeah, other than that, that's pretty much what's been going on with me lately. So, till my next video, we'll see what the doctor has to say about revision surgery and what I'm currently going through. So yeah, other than that, there's nothing else that's really going on with my transition specifically. So until my next video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you have any comments or anything or questions, appreciate it in the comment section below. So I'll do my best to answer any questions you have. So until my next video, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and